myself. My name is Tanya Shannon. I'm a health coach, but I'm also, just like you, a person that has MS. So I've had it for 13 years. I was diagnosed right out of college after having my having my son. He was 4 years old, and I have a tendency to believe that when I first got diagnosed, I dove into the research because I didn't know what was happening to me. So I wanted to try and cure as much as myself as possible. So much of what I'm going to talk about is I think is part of the reason why I've been able to stave off my MS from progressing any worse. I do have mobility issues in my right leg, but I have primary progressive, and I just don't know how well that's going to get improved. So I want to start off by saying that this presentation is about multiple sclerosis and optimal health, and it is about improving our cellular energy. And that's what I strive to do for myself, and I think this presentation will tell you that. So reflecting on the day we received our MS diagnosis, would anybody like to share some of the thoughts or feelings that came about when you were given that diagnosis? When your doctor came to you with that?
Sure.
Yeah.
Scared to death.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was the end of the world. Oh, just give me a death sentence. I mean, because you don't know, and I had no clue of what it was, because I just woke up one day and I was numb from halfway all the way down, both legs, both arms, and half my body. And I wake up like that, and I'm like, what? You know? And I go to this doctor, and he told me, he ran all these tests, and he called me 3 hours it took him, and he says, you've got MS, I'm shipping you down to St. Vincent's in Indianapolis to see this doctor. And that was in, and I'm like, okay.
But in 3 hours,
He ran all those tests and got back to me, yeah.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, how long ago was that?
I was only a year more than you. I was diagnosed August 11th, 2009.
Yeah, that's about the time.
And I remember the day. I mean, that's, you know, that's a big thing, you know the day.
Yeah.
See, mine started back in '73. Yeah, and back then, it was good luck, goodbye, because they had no medicine.
No.
And even then, they would say, we think you have MS most of the time. They would not give you, most of the time, they wouldn't give you a definite yes or no. I had like 2 or 3 different doctors. One would say, well, no, you don't have it. Another one would say, well, yeah, I think you have it. Another one would say, well, yeah, you definitely have it. So you had all of this going on in your mind, you know, plus we had a daughter that had an incurable disease at the time too. She had cystic fibrosis. So when that was not only going through with me with this, we had our daughter going through that. So I had all of that. And so I went about 30 years without any kind of medicine at all. And like my doctor said that I have now, he says, you gotta think, you went 30 years without any kind of medicine. He said, so you've had all that damage done. He says, and it can't be fixed, you know, and stuff. And I'm thinking, why couldn't they have done something? Why couldn't they have given me a definite diagnosis? Why couldn't somebody have done something?
They've done something more, right? I mean, it's so sad that, and I will talk about some of the things that, you know, we've learned over the several decades that we've been learning more and more and more about this disease. But honestly, I feel like there's things we could have done if doctors knew more. And I think that's where this comes into this presentation. I mean, anybody else would like to share?
I actually had relief. They thought I had a brain tumor. So I had a brain biopsy. It just happened over a few days. I lost 75% of my left leg, used 50% of my arm after they did the assessment with the physical therapist. And So the brain surgeon was sure it was a tumor, cause it was a very large lesion with satellite lesions around it. And he said it was too deep to do surgery, so I went with an oncologist. And thankfully, the pathology report came back while I was in his office. And he actually came in smiling, which I thought was rude. It's like, why are you happy? I have cancer. But he said he doesn't get to deliver good news very often, but it wasn't cancer. The pathology report came back. Tumefactive MS is what it's called, because the lesions are larger and they disguise themselves as brain tumors.
Wow.
So,
That's
yeah,
weird.
well, the
But it's
brain
a blessing.
surgeon said he's only seen maybe 5 cases in his whole career. And even the neurologist that we go to said the same thing, it's really rare.
How long ago were you?
It's 3 years this
It's
month.
almost 3 years since you were
Yeah.
diagnosed.
So could they ever turn into cancer though? Or is that just the way they are?
It's just the way it presents itself.
Oh, okay.
But it's still classified as.
It's still a scar.
Yes.
It's just, it looks like a tumor
Mhm.
on
On
screen.
the MRIs, yeah.
Interesting, it's just a really big scar.
It's just, yeah, it's
Wow.
pretty large.
And did it affect any part of your?
I had to go
You
to
said you were-
physical therapy for a
yeah.
while,
Okay.
and occupational therapy, but like I can regress, but I just have to be on it. I have to really watch, like if I get affected by heat or stress or
These last few days have been a little
exhaustion,
bit.
yeah, then I can really feel my left side
Yeah,
kind of going
interesting.
back, but, I mean, thankfully I'm still able to work a few days a week, so I did gain that back.
Are you still doing physical therapy?
No, I'm gonna do it at home, just
Okay.
because I got to the point where it
Yeah.
wasn't, they said that, it's not like an injury where you're gonna make it better, you just have to learn to kind of maintain it
Mhm.
and,
Yeah.
so.
How about you? Sorry.
No, you're good, that was it.
How about you?
Joe. Me?
Mhm.
When I got the diagnosis, I knew something was happening because I progressed to a wheelchair and standing and walking were no longer, I was diving to my right.
Okay.
I couldn't walk a straight line.
And you felt like you were progressing pretty fast.
Yeah, I was walking like I was drunk. There was no way that I was straight line walking.
Yeah.
And in 3 steps I was on the ground. And so I was pretty wheelchair confined by the time I got my diagnosis,
And when with that?
and that was in 2017. And it was a relief
To finally have
to
something.
finally say something was wrong,
You know, that's the thing.
to have a name for
Exactly.
what was wrong.
These two in 1970s didn't have a name necessarily of what it was. But in 2017 and on, we're finally starting to see more and more of this coming to fruition. And I think it's becoming more and more prevalent now, I think. I mean, not only multiple sclerosis, which is sad, but all kinds of diseases, right? I mean, you got congestive heart failure, you've got all kinds of other really serious diagnoses that are coming about more and more and more every year. And so that's why I think that what I'm about to say is so important. And it's not only just important for multiple sclerosis, but it's important for all diseases. And even diseases that are gonna come if they do come in the future, which I'm hoping that's not the case, but you know, the doctor gives you some basic information on how to take care of yourself. They might even at that moment get you started on disease modifying therapy right away. You're likely grappling with a multitude of questions going on in your head about what to do next, what steps you're gonna take, how are you gonna take care of your family, while you're dealing with some pretty severe complications in our body. I'm here because I want to explain what I believe is important
for multiple sclerosis and for us. You know, because medication's gonna be there, they're gonna keep getting better medications and all that, but the medication it's not making us better. It's only maintaining the symptoms, keeping the symptoms, and maybe not getting any new lesions in our brains or in our bodies or our spinal cords. But
Slowing our progressions.
it's slowing our progression. It's not reversing it.
No.
So I believe it's crucial to increase the efficiencies of your cells. And I know that may sound crazy. What do you mean, increase the efficiencies of our cells? Well, you're probably asking yourself, Tanya, how are we supposed to do that? And it may sound like a broken record with food, exercise, and sleep. Now, stress is one of them. We need to keep our stress low, but that is an absolute whole and topic on itself. So I'm gonna touch on these three and the reasons why I believe that these are so important for our health and why I believe that these will support us as we move on in life. And, well, I'll get there. So, I mean, I understand you've heard it over and over and over again from your doctors, from dietitians, from media. Eat better, right? Exercise, incorporate a little exercise in your life and get some good sleep, right? But what often gets overlooked is why. Why food, exercise, and sleep are so important. Because MS has evolved significantly what it was 2 decades ago. So much so that current studies are beginning to uncover some lifestyle factors that are slowing the progression of MS, in some instances even reversing some of the symptoms. And so today's presentation, we're gonna dive into the complex workings of our cells. We're gonna explore nutrition, exercise, and sleep, and increasing the efficiencies of our cells. It's important. It's important for our condition, and I'm not asking to sell anything. I am merely giving you education because this is so important for us. So important for us. But first, according to the MS Society website, we know that, oh, sorry, I'm off on the wrong slide. Oh. The National MS Society defines multiple sclerosis as a disease that impacts the brain, the spinal cord, and the optic nerve, known as the central nervous system. It controls everything that we do. You know, the exact cause of MS, they're not sure why, but we know that something triggers the immune system to attack our myelin, eating it and disrupting the signaling to and from our brain. Research is beginning to make the connections that alterations in our DNA because of environmental, oh shoot, what do I keep doing? I need to pay attention to my side. They're beginning to make the connections that alterations in our DNA may occur due to environmental and lifestyle factors. Now, while our primary goal is multiple sclerosis, just think that maybe the sum of the stuff that we put in our body, on our body, or around us in the environment may be manifesting these diseases or not. Is anybody familiar with Dr. Terry Walls?
Kind of.
Has anybody heard about her? So you know of some of the things that you do want to share what you know about her?
Just that I know she couldn't keep her practice because her MS was that bad, and then she went ahead and tried to find a diet that would help her condition, and her book is based on what it's done
Her
for her.
protocol, right? Yeah, exactly.
And she's back to her doing her practice. She's out of a wheelchair.
Yes, actually she is. And she did a lot of experimenting on herself first. But when she was diagnosed with secondary primary progressive, and she went down quickly. But by
and this book is absolutely amazing because it will tell you story after, actually, I'm not even there yet. I like to jump around. But Dr. Terry Walls explains that while our DNA may set the stage for our hair color, our eye color, even possible diseases like type 2 diabetes, that's usually sometimes hereditary, that it's the environment. Environmental factors that influence how our cells respond. So she talks about a thing known as gene expression. So our genes have the ability to turn on and turn off what we give to them, all right? So it means that meaning that what we take into our body, what kind of chemicals we are exposed to, all have a way in changing these genes and how they are expressed. So obesity, heart disease, all things that we might be passed down from generation to generation, they don't have to be expressed. They don't have to, these genes are not manifested unless they are expressed. So the gene's instructions, it's protein synthesis, it's kind of complicated, but what happens is the gene's instructions are turned into working proteins. And what it is the DNA is copied into a messenger. It transcribes the cells how to build the necessary proteins so that they need to function properly. So the food we consume, the exercise we get, and the sleep we get play a role in changing these genes and how they are expressed. If you think about it, survival of the fittest, right? Just to give you an example, the Scandinavians migrated up north into Europe. In just 2,000 years, their skin pigment began to change. They needed it to, because they had to absorb vitamin D quicker than a darker skinned person. It was necessary for survival in a sun-challenging climate. And it happens every day. Regardless of 2,000 years, just as you're sitting here, talking or listening to me, you're building proteins constantly, all the time. And so I have a couple of scientific examples of where this gene expression took place. Subjects were given omega-3 fatty acids to change the gene expression involved in oxidative stress. It down-regulated their inflammation. Another article showed by giving their subjects high glucose intake, it activated the Th17 cells, that is an immune cell associated with inflammatory responses. By giving them glucose, they increased their inflammation in these subjects. So the consumption of omega-3 fatty acids and the consumption down-regulated inflammation, whereas glucose increased inflammation in these subjects' bodies. So just by taking in food can do this. Just think of what power we have to change our genes and our overall health. So we're gonna talk about mitochondria. Do you remember mitochondria in science class in, I think, high school maybe?
That was a long time ago.
I know.
That sounds familiar.
Mitochondria.
So no.
Mitochondria are coined the powerhouses of our cells. Each living cell in our body that requires oxygen requires mitochondria. It needs oxygen, glucose, amino acids, and fatty acids to make endogenous triphosphate, which is an energy molecule in our body. Unfortunately, metabolic reactions and environmental influences corrupt these things, making them inefficient and vulnerable to cell death. Our cells are such complex structures.
especially the ones living in the brain, the heart, and the kidney. They are equipped with a ton of these little mitochondria they need to meet the high energy demands in our bodies. So when our bodies are deprived of nutrients, these things begin to break down. They don't work as well as they used to, especially our brains.
What kind of foods are high in it?
I'm going to get there.
Okay.
So, understanding cellular structure, the cellular functions, the mitochondria, our DNA's changing, the proteins in our body, sets the stage for appreciating the role of nutrients in our body. Nutrients act like a fuel for our cells. It plays a crucial role in cell signaling, energy production, and cellular repair, which is so important for us. Reacting to our environment means maintaining this delicate balance, keeping toxins at bay and allowing essential nutrients to flow into our bodies for peak performance. So the tool for doing this is food. Our Western diet, it's called the SAD diet because it's the
Well, yeah, I
standard
was looking at
American
that, that's
diet.
horrible.
Our Western diet is rich in processed carbs, sugars, flour, high fructose corn syrup, processed seed oils, overly processed seed oils, all of which change our gene expression and oxidize our mitochondria, disrupting how they work, and this is so important. So by increasing our vitamins, our minerals, our antioxidants, and our fatty acids, and decreasing the junk that causes problems for our cells, and especially our gut, we decrease inflammation and we start feeling our best. Gut is a huge factor in this because gut plays so much roles in cellular processes. Dr. Walls talks about a protein in her book called zonulin. Zonulin acts like a cement. It binds the intestinal wall together. It keeps the intestinal lining intact. Unfortunately, when we ingest microbes that aren't very good for us, what happens is the intestinal lining breaks apart. It becomes more permeable. It's called leaky gut. Is anybody familiar with that term? You are? Did you say yes?
Yeah.
Did you hear about it? Did somebody talk to you about it?
I've heard about it. Nobody's talked to me about it, but I've heard about.
Leaky gut. You have to keep it intact. So when our gut is impaired, it allows the toxins from our gut to seep into our bloodstream and creating inflammatory responses. So we need to make sure that our gut is intact, and that means we need to be feeding it supportive food that keeps the zonulin working. It also, if our gut is open to allow toxins to seep into our bloodstream, we're hindering the absorption of nutrients, and we're not able to eliminate the toxins effectively. So it's important for our gut to keep it in tip-top shape. So, foods to include for not only our mitochondria, but our gut health, our berries. Now, Dr. Walls emphasizes in her book, I'll just give you a little explanation, that she'd like everybody to get into 7 to 9 cups of vegetables a day. That's what she does, because 7 to 9 cups of vegetables a day will actually give you all the essential nutrients that you need to keep your mitochondria functioning well. Not only that, but she was a vegetarian for many years, and she believes that some of the reasons why she got what she got was because she was a vegetarian. So by maintaining the protein
maintaining her protein level was very important for her as well. So, 7 to 9 cups of vegetables is very difficult to get in, but you can do it with smoothies. So that's what she does. She drinks a lot of smoothies. But she used to have twitches in her face, zaps, like energy zaps, like it felt like somebody was shocking her face all the time. She found when she was able to get the right amount of nutrients into her body and eliminate the junk, the zaps went away. So her neurological integrity was starting to become better. She wasn't having nearly as many laps in her brain. And so getting in these berries, these blueberries, these strawberries, these antioxidants, berries are full of flavonoids, which help neutralize the microbes in your gut. So it's very good to get in as many antioxidants as possible. The dark leafy greens like the Swiss chard and the spinach and the kale, all full in vitamin C, which we need to increase our immune system, our white blood count. It increases the efficiencies of our white blood cells and it helps protect against infections. They got vitamin E in there that helps protect cell membrane from damage. They got beta carotene that helps protect optical eye health. So getting in a lot of fruits and vegetables. We want to get in the bell peppers, the carrots, the sweet potato, all are important for neurotransmitter synthesis. Tomatoes, great source of electrolyte potassium for muscle function. So all of these vegetables are highly important. The omega-3 fatty acids are extremely important too, because those fatty fishes help keep inflammation at bay. So the salmon, the mackerel, the trout, the sardines are excellent sources of omega-3s, including the EPA and the DHA that are so important for reducing triglycerides, improving blood vessel function, and decreasing inflammation. The vitamin D, I'm sure you've heard vitamin D is really, really good for us. I mean, I'm not sure, but your doctor's probably put you on a vitamin D supplement. Good for, it's a hormone. Oh, shoot, I'm looking there, I went too far. It's a hormone that acts like it's a vitamin that acts like a hormone. It plays crucial roles in our body, like immune support, muscle function, bone health, and mood regulation. So again, those fatty fishes, like the salmon, the mackerel, the tuna, those are really good in vitamin Ds. You wanna get as many in them as possible, yes.
I don't like fish.
Yeah.
So can I take like a supplement?
Yeah, your doctor hasn't already put you on a supplement for vitamin D?
Like I said, I just do
We're
not
taking
like.
vitamin D.
Well, I take a supplement for vitamin D, but like I said, I just do not like fish. Can I take a supplement, like a fish supplement? Would that work or?
Yeah, but as long as you're taking vitamin D, that's great. If you wanna get in more vitamin D, do you like egg yolks?
Hmm?
Egg yolks are good, if you can tolerate them. I know in the protocol, Dr. Walls mentions the fact that she had no idea that she was allergic to eggs
Oh, okay.
until she took them out of her diet. But then she put them back in her diet. She found that the inflammation came back when she put them back in her diet. But mushrooms, great source of vitamin D.
Oh, yeah, I love mushrooms.
Yes, especially those morels, the ones that grow in sunlight. Those are really good source of vitamin D. But yeah, if you don't like fatty fishes, yeah, you can get it in another way. But you're
okay.
also taking a supplement, so that's really good on top of it.
Cause that's what I do, I take a vitamin D3.
Me too.
But now, I did have a question about your omegas.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I take omega, but I take it in a supplement.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also eat the berries in the morning with a smoothie.
Great.
And I don't know how healthy I am from it all, but yeah, but I do this, and my husband, we're huge fans on the other things like tomatoes and tomato
Yes.
salads and things like that. But now when it comes to the nuts and everything, I sit there, I eat a whole bunch.
You do?
Constant, yeah, and not peanuts.
Yeah,
No
yeah, I know.
peanuts, it's all the other good nuts.
Well, peanuts are considered a legume.
They're just kind of fatty, I think. Aren't they fatty?
They can lead to inflammatory issues as well.
But now, okay, now, I drink almond milk.
Mhm.
Now, is that,
I mean,
like, if
yeah.
somebody didn't do nuts, would almond milk be just as,
You have to
Good.
drink a lot of it, I think,
Yeah.
but I'm not exactly sure as far as the almond milk, but you need to look at the back of the ingredients
Oh,
in it
yeah.
to make sure it's not full of a lot of other things that are unnecessary for your
Oh, yeah.
body. But I mean, if you can find good almond milk that doesn't have like, high fructose corn syrup or anything like that in
Right.
it, then I think that that's fine. But yeah, reading labels are highly important.
oh, yeah, but I didn't know if, like, some people might not like nuts.
Right.
You know, if that
Right.
would be a good supplement for them, I don't know.
Well, there's always supplements, definitely, but, getting in as many fruits and vegetables and quality protein is definitely beneficial for us, and, that's why I advocate for as many fruits and vegetables as you can. Now, not everybody likes fish. I mean, I can't even do liver, and Dr. Wells does, and she was a vegetarian, so it's like, I have tried to do liver over and over and over again, I'm
You've
like,
been eating a lot
I
of
have to
that.
take a pill for liver, I take organ meat, the organ meat pill.
Oh, okay.
I cannot do, yeah, I've tried to cook it, it just didn't work out well. Tastes like metal.
Can't do liver either.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and lots of butter. and
Used to,
yeah,
can't no more.
I never,
Used to like tuna and don't like it anymore.
yeah.
My husband ended up with low iron, so he started eating. So we were eating a lot of liver.
Oh, I just can't get past the taste. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to do a pate or something.
That's not too bad once you do it.
So,
It has a motivation.
yeah,
Thing, I never had liver until I was passing out from, lack of, iron in my system as well as having a blood issue that I was losing. So they were giving me shots, and the doctor said also to eat liver. And I thought, I hate shots, so I'll eat liver.
oh my goodness, that's amazing. I hate shots too, but I don't know, I think I might rather take the shot than eat the liver.
Yeah, if I didn't like something, I'd take a shot.
Me too. I don't mind them, but I don't wanna eat the liver. But vitamin D is important for us living here in the Midwest, that don't get enough sunlight 6 months out of the year. It's highly important for us to try and get in it as much as possible. So if you can do egg yolks, you can do mushrooms, definitely eat them as much as you can. So my next topic is exercise. And I know exercise is sometimes can be challenging, right? So especially with us. In the situation, I can't run anymore, of course, but exercise is so important, and it doesn't even need to be that much.
Yeah.
Human beings are inherently designed for movement. It is not in our genetic blueprint to sit for prolonged periods of time. We were designed for hunting, gathering, and moving vigorously with our environment. So we're gonna talk a little bit about mitochondrial biogenesis and mitophagy. Mitochondrial biogenesis is by increasing the efficiency in the number of mitochondria in our body. Even as we age, even in the absence of a disease, our mitochondria die. They become inefficient. I mean, they're constantly recirculating in our body, just as we're sitting here. But we wanna make sure that we get the efficient ones coming up to the surface. So one way we can increase the mitochondrial capacity is by incorporating a little exercise. And that could be as simple as just walking around the block or just lifting some light weights in your wheelchair. It doesn't have to be anything extreme. But what happens is it increases what's called BDNF, It's brain-derived neurotrophic factor, and it's a protein that fertilizes your brain. It promotes the survival and the growth and the maintenance of neurons. So it could be as easy as, like I said, just lifting some weights in your wheelchair. Nothing. But what happens is it increases BDNF tremendously. Even if we do, like we're tending to our garden, like you were just tending to your garden. So when you're fertilizing your garden, you're fertilizing your brain. Our ultimate goal is neural protection. It involves strategies like exercising, so that we can create new neurons in our brain and new neural pathways. We don't have to be babies to grow new neural pathways. My last topic is sleep. Sleep is crucial. Lack of sleep is wreaking havoc on our body and our mitochondria. If we're not getting efficient sleep, our body is not repairing. It's not repairing our brain, it's not repairing our body. So addressing sleep issues is vital. It's vital for improving and maintaining health. And it involves a different way of thinking and incorporating sleep strategies into our lives that help support it. Digital detoxing. I know they always tell us to turn off our phones and stuff right before bed, right? But who is aware of blue light? You're all aware of blue light. And so if we can turn down the blue light, which is what this stuff is right here in our lives at night, and get more of the warm colors into in our homes and in our cell phones. Does anybody have their blue lights changed on their phone?
Mine was to night mode.
Night mode.
Yeah.
Do you guys have your night vision on? It's great to get that on your phone. Everybody should have it on their cell
It's not
phone.
on flippies.
It's on flippies. As long as you're not looking at it. But changing your phone over to night light is definitely beneficial because it plays two roles. Our cortisol level, which is our fight or flight hormone in our brain, and then our melatonin hormone that brings us down, gets us ready for bed. So in the morning when we have our cortisol level is high because we're getting ready to go to work, or whatever we're gonna do for the day, make coffee. So it's really high during the day. And then at night, you have to bring down that cortisol level and bring up your melatonin. So it's a great idea to try and, your surroundings need to be more of a redder hue instead of a blue hue. So digital detoxing, getting the blue light out of our bodies right before we're getting ready to go to bed. Guided meditation, breathing exercises for bed. Who does that? Anybody perform any meditation in here? No?
I didn't hear what you said.
Meditation. Do you perform
Oh.
any meditation?
No.
No? Okay, well, let me just give you a quick rundown of some meditation that I tell my clients to perform before they get ready to go to bed. It's a 4 count. You breathe in deeply for 4 seconds. You hold your breath for 4 seconds. You breathe out deeply for 4 seconds, and then you hold your breath for 4 seconds. And you do that 4 times in bed, and it will make you feel like a baby. You'll be falling asleep before too long. So just try that tonight when you go home if you want. And my sleep strategies go along a little bit with relieving some of the stress, right? Because that's what we need to do. We need to keep our stress level low. And we really need to get some good breathing exercises in before we get ready to go to bed. It's so beneficial. Gentle stretching before bed is good. Oh, we want to eliminate stimulants, so no caffeine, no alcohol. And let's stop eating 2 to 3 hours before we get ready to go to bed. Our bodies needs to clean. We need to repair. And so when we're eating, we're right before bed, we're getting ready our body's trying to digest that instead of cleaning up the body. Has anybody ever heard of the term washing the brain? Okay, well, when we're sleeping, our brain is getting washed. If we get at least 1 hour of deep sleep every night, our brain is cleaning up the misfolded proteins in our brain, and therefore it's washing it. And then washing different parts of our body, because all of our body needs to heal while we're sleeping, not digesting food, not moving. It's a good idea not to drink too much before bed so you don't have to rush to the bathroom in the middle of the night. But getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night is definitely important, with at least 1 hour of deep sleep. So gentle stretching before bed brings down the cortisol level, starts the melatonin synthesis going in our brain, makes it easier for us to sleep, and then, do a little light reading. Nothing too technical, we're not like scientists or anything like that, right? But maybe some love novels before bed. You wanna read a love novel before bed, don't you?
No.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm just coming off of a really bad flare-up, and of course I was on cortisone, and he gave me double the dose of what you would normally have on a flare-up, because it was so bad.
Yeah.
So of course I'm not sleeping and stuff, so what do you do in a situation like that?
Yeah, he's still giving you cortisol shots?
I finished up my prednisone,
Mm-hmm.
but like last night I went to bed, I slept 2 hours, and then I was up for like 4 or 5 hours.
It's so hard
And
when
then
you're.
went to bed and slept for 2 or 3 hours, and then got up this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, and stuff, and I know it's the prednisone that's doing that,
Mhm.
yeah, and stuff, so what do you do in a situation like that?
Breathe.
Just grin and bear it.
Breathe. I
Grin and
mean,
bear it, yeah.
It's hard, especially when it's something that is being put on you versus something that you're doing to yourself.
I mean, medication is difficult, especially those anti-inflammatory medicines. I mean, they're supposed to be working in a way that relieves some of the pressure in your body, but on the other hand, it's like, I can't sleep, and it's hard, I mean, I could give you some things that I do, but probably wouldn't be something that you would do, not right now, but maybe sometime in the future you might do it. But I do what's called cold plunges. So I get in a bathtub of ice water.
Oh, I can't get down in the tub.
Oh.
I can't get up out of the tub.
Well, another thing that you can do is you can stand in the shower and really cold water for like 3 minutes,
Mhm.
and that's supposed to help bring your cortisol level down too, and it'll allow you to sleep better.
Okay,
If you can I also sleep with a mask on, as well as keeping the room temperature in my bedroom at like 60 degrees.
oh yeah, I keep it cold in my bedroom.
That's wonderful. Keeping it cold is very beneficial for sleeping. But keeping it as dark as possible is beneficial for sleeping. So if you can get it as dark and cold in there, and I think that will really be a start. But also breathing exercises, doing a little light meditation right before you get ready to go to bed. It doesn't have to be but 5 minutes, and see if that helps improve your sleepiness. But there's nothing, if the doctor is giving us medication to alleviate certain symptoms, it's hard to be able to
And it not only affects my sleep, it also affects my eating. I think I gained
because you want to eat all the time when you're on
I
that
gained like
stuff.
8 pounds, and stuff, and I hate being on the prednisone, but I know I have to be on it,
I know the cortisol is
yeah. and stuff.
definitely supposed to be there for times where we can't get the inflammation low.
Yeah, I mean, I put it off as long as I could, but I can't put it off any longer, so, I had to call them and stuff, so.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you're having to deal with that. But the strategies that I talked about I believe are important. Getting good sleep, getting nutrients into your body. There's an interconnectedness of all of these things that I believe really feed into taking care of our mitochondria, getting them efficient. Once we can get them efficient,
think you'll feel different, your body will feel different, it'll feel better. And so this was designed to help your cellular strength, improve your cellular strength. And if you get the Walls Protocol book, it's amazing. There's stories after stories in there. They're called the Walls Warriors. And people, no matter how debilitating their conditions are, have been able to bring themselves up out of wheelchairs, lose the zapping sensations in their body, been able to function completely different because they've increased their efficiencies of their cells, but with food, with a little bit of movement. It doesn't even have to be much. She did do this thing that's called neuroelectrical muscular stimulation, which I wanted to give you all one of these. Have you tried neuroelectrical muscular stimulation? It's NEMS. You probably need like 4 of them. I did a little bit of it at the beginning with a physical therapist, but there's a study in there if you want to give your doctor, because doctors don't always advocate for it because it's for people that have been in strokes, they've had strokes, so they don't advocate it for MS people. But she talks about, and that study is mainly for you. It's kind of complicated, so if you wanted to get NEMS into your life and you wanted to do it with a physical therapist, you have to advocate for yourself. And that's why I gave that to my doctor, my neurologist, and I said, this is what I wanna do.
Is it kind of like a TENS unit?
Similar,
Okay.
yes. It just gets into the muscle more. The TENS unit gets onto the surface,
Okay.
but this gets into the muscle and it contracts it and brings it out so that you can get
Oh,
some.
okay.
And NEMS also will create brain-derived neurotrophic factor in your brain too. So even if you're sitting on the couch and you wanted to put that on your body, you could be working your muscles while you're sitting there. And Dr. Walls did a lot of that. So that is mainly for you to give to your doctor. The unit on the front of that is what I bought on Amazon. And so I bought one and then I took it to my physical therapist. I'm like, this is what I want.
Do you have to have a prescription to get this?
No.
No, okay.
It is kind of expensive. It was like $400, but.
It's $119.99 here.
Well, I imagine when you said you got it off of Amazon. that you-
419. Yeah, 419. That's what I paid for it on Amazon. That's the unit, but I gotta give you a disclaimer because, of course, the content provided in this presentation is for informational purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional or medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. As always, ask your physician or qualified healthcare provider questions that you may have regarding your medical condition. My health coaching tips or suggestions or recommendations are based on general wellness principles. We encourage you to consult with a qualified healthcare professional before making any significant changes to your diet, exercise routine, or health-related practices. I do have a recipe card as well, and this other thing right here too. There's a multiple sclerosis summit that's going to be happening starting August 20th. There's that's a recipe card. There's gonna be a multiple sclerosis and neuroimmune summit that's going to be going on from August 20th to August 26th, and it's all via your computer. So it's a Zoom. You're gonna get to hear a ton of doctors talk about new research, especially Dr. Walls is putting it on. So a lot of what she does is in this information. So yeah, I would love for you guys to, if you're at home, cause it's a lot of doctors, yes, sure. If you're at home, you can turn it on, they're not gonna see you, but you can listen to doctor after doctor after doctor talk about, and you can even record it if you're not gonna be at home, about, there's like, okay, let me just give you some of the subjects. I put all the subjects on here. At the top, you would just plug in this at HTTPS into your computer, sign up for it, it's free of charge, Day one, they're gonna be talking about welcome to the Multiple Sclerosis and Neuroimmune Summit, which Dr. Wells will put on. They're gonna talk about your mitochondria and your energy. Uncover why nitric oxide is called the miracle molecule. And then there's gonna be a whole day of one, a day of two, day of three. It's like 6-7 days of tons of information for you guys to learn how to take care of yourself. Because we can't wait around forever for a pill, because it's not working. We want us to get better, we want us to get more mobile, and I think we can do it if we follow some of these. That's pretty much it. I hope you guys get to take advantage of this summit. It's free, and it's so much information. So you're gonna, when are you leaving?
Not soon enough.
Okay, gosh, just to be able to get this in, I wish I work during the day, so it's gonna be hard for me to get it in, but I'm gonna record it so that I can listen to it, cause I'm big on listening.
But I can use my computer,
Yeah,
no matter.
it's a live event, so everybody is gonna be on there, is gonna be live.
I have the hours that it's.
Once you get on here and you register, once you get on and use that website to register, they'll send you an email and then they'll give you the time that it starts. Like I said, August 20th through 26th, and I'm pretty excited about it because I love listening to her talk. She did a TED talk, I'm not sure if you guys have listened to that, but she's just amazing. And I want everybody to know about her. I don't get any kickbacks. She doesn't even know I'm talking to you about this. I'm talking to you about it because I think that it's important.
Yeah. Now her, okay, like the fudge, right?
Yeah, that's her,
Okay.
it's her recipe.
So it's most of the foods are basically, are they kind of like more like keto? Or I should say carb friendly? You know, no carbs and
Right.
basically everything good.
She does
better
not
for you.
eat any processed anything.
Yeah, okay.
So no flours,
Right.
no sugars.
Yep.
I mean, there's some sugar that's been researched lately. It's called RX sugar,
Oh, okay.
because I like sugar in my coffee.
We use stevia.
That's a good sugar.
Yeah.
It's a plant. But there's this new sugar that it's just becoming researched. It's called RX sugar. It's supposed to, it has some of the same, it doesn't allow for dumping. Like GLP-1, which is that new drug for diabetes. Have you heard of it? Like Ozempic.
Ozempic, yeah.
Yeah, so it's got a GLP-1 in it, and it doesn't allow for dumping. So when people are taking the Ozempic, they don't get hungry, because when they eat, it doesn't allow for them to get rid of their waste that quickly. So it just keeps it absorbing in there and getting all the nutrients out. That's what the sugar does. It doesn't allow for dumping. So it makes you feel fuller longer. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's called RX sugar, and it's non-stimulant. It will not increase your insulin levels, so it won't spike your sugars. That's a good sugar I bought off Amazon, and it is great in my coffee. It doesn't spike my insulin. But
What is it called?
it's called RX sugar, like the prescription,
Yeah.
like big R, little X, and then sugar. And right,
Where can you get it at?
you can get it on Amazon.
Amazon, okay.
Mm-hmm. There's a doctor, I follow a lot of doctors. He's been researching, and actually the sugar is gonna take over the world, I think, as far as sugar anyway. I mean, it's not as sweet as we would like it to be, but, it's still good sugar.
Well, it's kind of like the stevia, it's not really sweet.
Right, yeah, but stevia's got a sharp taste at the end.
I put it in my coffee, so I
You're
can't
used
tell.
to it now.
I can't tell.
It's got a really strong taste at the end. With this sugar, it doesn't have that strong taste. So it tastes actually like sugar, but doesn't have a flavor, a bite.
Oh,
Like
okay.
stevia, I think it's got a really bite at the
Does
end.
it? I never noticed.
Because you're used to it now, probably.
I just stick it in my coffee. Nothing,
There you
you
go.
can't taste nothing through coffee.
Yeah, right,
Okay.
right.
It's like-
So these are some of the cited sources. I still, I thank you for allowing me to talk to you about this. Hopefully I can, I don't know, get you guys to think a little bit more about doing any of these. Or maybe you already are. But hopefully I was helpful. If anything.
I do have a question, maybe you can answer it, maybe you can't. You get on like Facebook and the internet and you see all these things about these teas that are supposed to help you lose weight. Do you know anything about those?
Tea.
Yeah, they're all over Facebook.
Yeah, those
Yeah, just
things
ignore
are
it.
just,
Yeah, I know, I was just wondering, you know, that you drink this tea
I
in
think
the
they're
morning.
gimmicks.
they are
Yeah,
all
you drink this
gimmicks.
tea in the morning and you drink it in the evening. And one of
The-
them claims you'll even lose 20 pounds in a
The
week.
weight loss industry is $1 billion industry for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because they have lots of gimmicks like that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
all it is basic information. That's all you need, basic food, we need to go back to our ancestries, the way they used to eat. I mean, even our flour nowadays has been sprayed with so many chemicals that it just wreaks havoc on our gut. That's the reason why I'm trying to stay away from, the flours and the corn now that they have, like even the overly processed seed oils oxidize in our body. They change our gene expression and they change how our signaling in our body. And I could advocate for don't ever bring canola oil into your house.
I know, and you don't know what's in them.
It's just,
Those teas, you don't know
yeah, you
what
don't know what's in
what
them.
kind of drugs are in them. And it's just like, all these people are jumping on the bandwagon of taking this medicine that's for, diabetes.
Ozempic.
Ozempic, Mounjaro.
The only problem I have with those is that you can take them, but you'll decrease your muscle function. And it's important that we increase our muscles as we get older. Muscle is what keeps us alive. So if we aren't increasing our muscle, we will start deteriorating fast. And those kinds of drugs don't allow for, muscle waste.
Mhm,
So they
yeah.
don't allow for you to maintain the muscle that you have.
And now they're on like Facebook and the internet that you can go around the insurance and you can get these medicines for $3. And I'm thinking, yeah, what is in these medicines though? Because they can't
It's
be,
scary, you know?
they can't be what you get through the insurance. You know, if you're getting this medicine for $3, because that medicine, if you get it through the insurance, is sky high.
Mhm.
You know, and stuff, because I know what I pay for my shots, for what my MS shots are
Yeah, those are
costing,
expensive.
you know, and stuff. And now they're saying that you can go around the insurance and get this medicine for $3, not me.
I think my, my Copaxone shots were like $4,500 a month. Thank God I didn't have to pay for them. But $4,500 a month, it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, it really is.
That's what I was on first, was Copaxone.
Yeah, I was on that too.
Then it's
I did the Macarena, right?
Yeah, I know it.
I was like, I'm so glad I got over that. Then I did the Tecfidera for a while, and I told my doctor last year when I went to Mayo Clinic to find out if I had any new lesions, that I haven't had any new lesions in 10 years.
Mhm.
So I said, I don't want to be on medication anymore. Because, I mean, the other thing is I have to tell my doctor what I want, you know, we have to advocate for ourselves.
Yeah.
I think that's important. Told her I wanted to go do physical therapy, she's like, why? I'm like, because I'm trying to get the strength back in this leg, because I can't run anymore. I used to be a runner, I can't even run anymore, which I still don't have the strength back in the leg, but I'm working on it.
That does help,
Hmm.
and the right physical therapist helps.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's nice because they were the ones that told me where I could put my electrodes, because I had no idea, and my neurologist doesn't know anything about it. I mean, I had to give her the study because she didn't have any clue about any of this. They don't necessarily know what's going on
Right.
now. I mean, I almost want to give her the book, the Dr. Walls book, just so she can read that. But Dr. Walls didn't know any of this stuff. She didn't know any of it. It wasn't until she got MS that she decided to delve into the research. and she was able to change herself. So she played ignorant for a long time, and then she changed her life.
Yep.
Dramatically. And there's tons of Wall's Warriors in that book that will hurt people after people. So I think I went past my time, didn't
Oh,
I?
you're fine. Can I get one of these for my sister?
Yes. You can take as much as you want.
Um,
The MS Summit
yes,
or both, all of them.
um,
Just the MS Summit.
Yeah, this one back, I don't need that,
Yeah.
pass that back that way.
we have
We got
MS
one
in our
in our
family.
room.
We have one, we don't.
Oh, you have it?
Yeah,
There, there's an extra.
my mother's sister had it, and she had the aggressive back in
Yeah.
1952.
Well, I,
Me, my sister, and 3 young cousins,
think it's hereditary. Actually, I'm on a study.
all girls.
I'm doing a study that just came out too, where they're gonna take my blood, cause they wanna see if it is hereditary. It was on the MS website, so I joined it. I'll join as many studies as I can. There's another one where they're gonna be, I'm hoping I get into, but they're giving it to stroke patients where they're gonna they were giving it to stroke patients and now they're giving it to MS patients where they'll lower your oxygen intake, like you're going up the side of a mountain, and then bring you back down to help create new neural pathways in your brain. So I'm hoping that one starts soon, cause I really wanna be part of it. I'm like, I'll just do all the studies.
See, they don't want us old folks in those.
No, they don't
in
want
those
old-
Oh, did you see it? It's on the MS website, did you see it?
Well, no, I didn't see it, but a lot of the trials, they don't want older, they don't want
Bunch of
older
your
folks.
70s or higher.
Well, this one didn't say that, so you should go on there and look.
Really?
They haven't even started it yet, so if you go on the
Well,
website.
Most of them, when I try to get into them, when they find out my age, it's like, well, you don't fit the criteria.
Yeah, they say that to me because I'm not immobile enough most of the time.
Yeah.
They'll be
Well,
like,
they just,
"You're not far
Yeah.
enough along to do
They're-
that."
they're just real nice, they say, well, you don't fit the criteria, and I just figured, well, that's my age, actually, yeah.
We'll just use that as an excuse,
Like looking for a job.
not like a broken.
Right.
Yeah,
You go in and then they figure out how old you are by looking at your resume. And sometimes, within 10 minutes, you gotta know, sorry, but you don't meet our criteria, or,
yeah, it's just a polite way of
My
saying you're
daughter's
too
had it
old.
where, I mean, she's in her 20s trying to get a job, a better job, and they told her she was too qualified. She says, I can't even work at McDonald's. She says, because I have a college degree. She said, how am I supposed to feed me and take care of my handicapped son? Cause they wouldn't,
Oh, jeez.
she tried, what's the one called, Aldi's, and saved a lot in them, and they said, no, you had too much education.
Oh, jeez, oh, jeez.
Yeah. But yet then,
You got
get
such
on
a
her
bummer.
because she was on welfare for a while, and it's like, what do you do?
Yeah,
You
oh
don't
man.
pick one, don't pick the other.
I hope this was informative. Thank
It
you.
was
Yeah.
very informative. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I try to go around as many MS groups and talk about this as much as possible because it's so important. I mean,
Lots of good information.
yeah,
So where are you from?
I'm from, up north, close to, Middlebury, Elkhart area.
Oh, okay, my son
So-
lives in Elkhart.
In Indiana, yeah,
Yeah.
I grew up in Indiana. So my husband and I moved to Middlebury because I like it, it's quite quieter there.
He used to live in Bristol.
Yeah, well, it's
Oh,
2
yeah.
minutes away from me.
Yeah.
But I went to, the last MS presentation was in Chicago. I tried to go out there and put myself out there just because I believe in a lot of what Dr. Walls is preaching and, it's so important.
Isn't the traffic so nice in Chicago?
Oh gosh, no, not at all. Actually, my sister, she has a Tesla, so I had her drive me because she doesn't have to do anything. The car drives itself. She just has to keep her hands on the wheel. I'm like, I don't want to drive. I cry. If I drive to Chicago, I cry. So I either take the train or somebody else drives me. Too much.
We hardly ever drove up to Chicago when we went, we usually took the train.
Yeah, I do not like driving in that place. It's ridiculous.
Now, his brother lives in the northern suburb of Chicago, so he drives all over the place, but he's used to it.
Oh, yeah.
he's got a nickname for the Wisconsin